Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to this week's card video. Today I'm doing my first holiday card of the season, and I'm using this Simon Says stamp set of stamps and dies. And I slowed it down a little bit so I could show you what I'm using here. It's a set and it's kind of small, but it's got a lot of little stamps in it, and I'm going to be using a lot of these little ones in my card today. And then it also comes with a set of dies, 2 circles and a Christmas tree. And the circles nest inside of each other, and they actually come attached, and I detach them with, I did it with a pair of scissors, which was a mistake because it's too thick for that, so you need wire cutters. But anyway, so I took the set apart, and I'm going to be using the Christmas tree on this card. The first thing I'm going to do is take some measurements here. I'm going to go, this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of cardstock, and I'm going to measure 1/2 of an inch from the bottom and use my T-square to draw a straight line all the way across. And that's so that I can get all of the trees lined up. I'm going to measure 1/4 of an inch in, and I'm going to put my die right there so the edge is right where that 1/4 inch line is. Put some masking tape on it and run it through my Sizzix. Then I'm going to measure from the tip of the tree 1/8 of an inch, line it up the exact same way, put the masking tape on, run it through the Sizzix. And then again 1/8 of an inch from edge to edge, and I'm going to do this 4 times. Alright, next I'm going to erase all those pencil marks, and then I want to trim this piece down so that I get the exact same amount on both sides of the outside trees. So the best way to do this is I took my ruler, and you can see I have the 2-inch mark and the 7-inch mark, because I know I need to have 5 inches total across. And I'm going to measure the same exact distance from either side between the 2 and the 7. So it turns out it's 3/16 of an inch, and then I mark the 7, 3/16 of an inch, and then I mark the 2. And that's the best way to get a full measurement so that the trees are centered in the middle. So I'm going to trim that out, and it's going to be 5 inches by 3 3/4. And I just took I trimmed the top, not the bottom, because I already had measured that 1/2 inch from the bottom. Alright, so I used one of the trees that I cut out. This is Nina Solar White cardstock, by the way. And so because the die is solid, so you can't see through it, I'm stamping it after I die cut it, which is pretty easy because these are clear stamps, and they're actually really nice, good quality photopolymer stamps. These little pieces are pretty little, but they work pretty well. Now I'm going to create some snow later, so I'm just going to set up these 3 little circles on one die, or I'm sorry, not one, block. And I'm going to be using that later. So anyway, I put that tree back into one of the holes, and then I'm going to stamp my star with Daffodil Delight. And I've got some cherry cobbler cardstock from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to load the back of this white piece up with some Stampin' Up foam adhesive. They're called Dimensionals. They're one of my favorite adhesives. And I want to make sure I get everything covered here. And then finally I'm going to put a couple right there and be really careful so that it doesn't pop out. It's pretty secure in there though. Anyway, so I put 1.5 dimensionals on the tree. And now I'm going to quickly peel all of these off, and then put my cherry cobbler cardstock right on top. And I have some twine, cherry cobbler twine by Stampin' Up. There's a little crimp in it, but if you really kind of pull it a few times with your fingers, it'll come out. I put a little adhesive on either side. So I'm going to wrap it around, and then I'm going to create a bow. So I kind of fake this where I just put string around the card, and then I put a bow and use a glue dot to put it on. Now when I take my glue dot, I just sort of roll it up in between my fingers, place it where I want my bow to be, and then I just push my bow right on there, and it does not come off. Alright, now I'm going to take that block that I put those little dots on, and I'm using my Color Box white pigment ink, and I'm just randomly stamping these little dots around the edge, and I'm kind of turning my block so it doesn't look like it's a pattern. I want it to look random. So I'm just going to go all the way around the edge here. Alright, so I'm going to put some dimensionals where the cherry cobbler cardstock wasn't, so that the whole card is all the same height, I guess you could say, from the base. And the base is a crumb cake piece of cardstock by Stampin' Up! And finally, I'm going to squeeze a little dot of yellow stickles in the center of the star, and then I take my paper piercer and I just push the stickles out to each point of the star, because it's impossible to do using the stickles bottle tip. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.